Beloved child of God, lean in closely, for this moment is not ordinary. There are seasons when heaven bends low to earth, when the Spirit stirs so strongly that you cannot ignore it, and when God Himself places before His people a decision that shapes the rest of their lives. We are standing in such a season right now. This is not simply another day marked on the calendar. It is not just one more sunrise, one more week passing by as usual. No, this is an appointed time. A sacred window has opened, and within it, the Lord is calling His chosen to awaken, to rise, and to step into the fullness of His purpose. From the beginning of Scripture to the end, we see that God works in appointed times. The Passover was not random, it was set apart. Pentecost was not by chance, it was divinely scheduled. Even the birth of Christ happened, as Paul writes in Galatians 4:4, when the fullness of time had come. Heaven moves according to divine rhythm, and when that rhythm reaches its peak, the Spirit whispers to those who are listening, "This is your moment. Do not sleep through it." And so, chosen one, you may have felt it already. The stirring in your soul, the restlessness in your nights, dreams that leave you unsettled, or messages that linger in your heart long after you wake. These are not coincidences. They are not random sparks in your imagination. They are the fingerprints of heaven on your spirit, preparing you for what is now unfolding. Deep within, you already sense it. You cannot continue as you have before. You know something is shifting, that God is drawing a line between the old and the new. The question is not whether He is moving. The question is whether you will recognize it and respond. The unveiling of hidden things. Scripture declares in Luke chapter 8:17, "For nothing is hidden that will not be revealed, and nothing concealed that will not be known or brought out into the open." That is not just a verse to be admired. It is a reality being lived out in this very season. This is a time of unveiling. Things long covered are being exposed. Masks are slipping. Secrets are coming to light. What once seemed comfortable in the shadows is being brought into the brightness of God's presence. And this unveiling is not only around you, it is also within you. Habits that once seemed harmless now feel unbearable. Thoughts that you used to excuse now weigh heavy on your spirit. Old wounds rise to the surface, not to torment you, but because the Lord desires to heal them completely. This process is not meant to shame you. It is not meant to destroy you. It is meant to liberate you. Think of a surgeon who cuts not to harm, but to remove what would kill if left untouched. That is what God is doing in this appointed hour. He is cutting away what does not belong so that you may be whole. A season of separation. This is also a time of separation. Throughout the Bible, when God moves, He separates. In Genesis, He separated light from darkness. In Exodus, He separated Israel from Egypt. In the ministry of Jesus, He separated truth from tradition, faith from fear. Now, He is doing it again. He is separating truth from deception, obedience from rebellion, surrender from stubbornness. Neutrality is no longer an option. To delay is to drift. To remain undecided is, in itself, a decision. This is the moment when you must choose. Will you stand fully in the light, or will you continue to cling to shadows? Will you yield to the Spirit's call, or will you silence it with excuses? The choices you make in this season will echo into the future, shaping not only your own path, but also the lives of those connected to you. God moves in 3 phases. Consider how God often works in threes, establishing His will in stages. Think of the resurrection of Christ. On the first day, the stone sealed the tomb. On the second day, the world remained silent, unsure of what would come. But on the third day, glory burst forth, and the power of death was broken forever. In your own life, God has been working in stages as well. On the first day, he broke the surface. Like a farmer ploughing hardened soil, he began to dig deep, unearthing things you thought were buried forever. Hidden fears, ignored wounds, and suppressed sins rose to the surface, not to condemn you, but so they could be addressed. Nothing can be healed until it is revealed. On the second day, he stirred your soul. Just as the Spirit hovered over the waters at creation, he has been moving over your inner world, agitating the stillness, refusing to let you remain complacent. You may have felt restless, unsettled, unable to sit comfortably in the patterns you once tolerated. That was not chaos, that was preparation. And now, on the third day, comes the culmination. This is the moment when all is revealed. The illusions collapse. The excuses lose their power. The Lord's voice becomes clear and inescapable. Choose this day whom you will serve. Like Israel standing before the Jordan River, you are at a threshold. On one side lies the wilderness you have known, cycles, struggles, and survival. On the other lies the promise, the life of purpose, freedom, and destiny God prepared for you. The river cannot be crossed by hesitation. It can only be crossed by faith.